Welcome to Dodger Stadium and welcome to the 2025 World Series on Fox, presented by Capital One. This best of 7 has become a best of 3. The Dodgers and the Blue Jays, Game 5 from LA. We welcome you inside. That's the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. I'm Joe Davis. These Blue Jays, I tell you what, they lose that 18-inning heartbreaker. They lose their leadoff guy, George Springer, and they come back and still tie this series up.
Well, everybody in Canada knew what this team was all about. The world's getting to see it on the greatest stage. They are tough. They are an offense that is relentless, and when they're good in big innings. And the big innings is how they're tied this thing up. Multiple runs in an inning. They did it 5 times. And they've got 5 home runs with no solo home runs. And guess what? The one thing they were worried about has been on fire lately, and that's the bullpen. So the Blue Jays, if they're going to win this series, it's always been about making more contact and creating havoc on the bases.
So if the offense is their path forward to winning this whole thing, for the Dodgers, it's been the starting pitching. Somebody asked me today, you think they can get 6 or 7 innings out of Blake Snell? I said they try to get 8, 9 innings out of Blake Snell the way it's going for the bullpen. Same thing for the Dodgers. It's the Jays offense. It's the Dodgers starting pitching.
It really is. And you look at this whole postseason, they have dominated by the starting pitching. It's kind of overlooked the lack of offense that they've got consistently. And that starting pitching starts with Blake Snell. He's been as good as advertised, with one tiny exception. There's his record in the first 3 starts, and he didn't have his best stuff against the Blue Jays. Look for him to rebound and really pick it up from the changeup to the fastball. That's not normal for Blake Snell. And if the Dodgers are going to win this series, it's going to be on the arms of their starting pitching, despite what the offense has not done thus far.
Yeah, and you mentioned it with the offense. This star-studded lineup, they scored 9 runs a game against the Reds in the wild card round, quiet since, and so changes are coming. And for the details, down to Tom Verducci.
Oh, well, thanks, Joe. For 623 straight starts, Mookie Betts has hit first or second. Not tonight. Will Smith hits second. Mookie hits third. Mookie has only 5 hits in his last 34 at-bats, including 1 for 7 with runners on base in the World Series. Now, with the way the Blue Jays have been walking Shohei Ohtani, manager Dave Roberts believes this can ease the burden on Betts to make them pay. Now here is Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Tom. George Springer is getting closer. He is out of the lineup again tonight with right side discomfort, but he ran today, hit off a velocity machine, and is available to pinch hit. If the Jays stay away from him, he'll have another day to recover for Game 6. But John Schneider says that if an opportunity arises, he will not hesitate to take a shot with one of the great postseason players of recent times. Joe.
All right, boys, so all the pieces set in this 162-game marathon into the longest postseason that you've ever seen in this era of baseball, but it all comes down to 3.
The postseason is a grind. The rhythm, the repetition, the ruckus. A seemingly never-ending cycle you can get lost in.
It's an extra month if you get here, but it's the best month that you play. A perfect blend of stress and fun.
Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. The dirt, the champagne, the tears, it all mixes together. To move forward, you have to let it all wash away.
You're fighting for a World Series.
Man, this is what we do it for.
The light at the end of the tunnel is earned in the cleaning of the chaos. Welcome to Game 5 of the World Series.
Tonight, we see cancers. Do you have a higher level? What's left inside besides pride? How fast is your mind racing? How loud is this crowd? Don't you love the thrill of it all? One pitch, one swing, in a season of a million moments, the extraordinary is just 2 more wins away. Unlike ever before, a truly international classic. In any language, it's Game 5. Toronto, Los Angeles. Welcome to the World Series on Fox.
That is the voice of Glenn Powell, whose new movie Running Man will be in theaters on November 7th. In Los Angeles on an 86-degree night, we're ready for Game 5, and when the series is tied 2-2, the Game 5 winner goes on to win the World Series 2/3 of the time. They've won 6 of the last 7 after taking Game 5 in a 2-2 series. Lineup for the Blue Jays for Game 5. They're still without George Springer as the guys detailed. So it's Davis Schneider hitting leadoff, followed by Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette both sliding up a spot. Alejandro Kirk is the cleanup man. Dalton Varsho is in center field hitting 5th with Ernie Clement. And then the bottom of the order that's continued to make this such a tough lineup to get through. Barger, Kiner Falefa, and Andres Jimenez. They face off with Blake Snell, who through the first 3 games of the postseason had a 0.86 ERA, but then in Game 1 of the World Series, half of the batters that he faced reached, and he gave up 5 runs.
Yeah, fastball command up too much, changeup up too much. You know what I love about Game 5 of World Series? Throw away the stats. Now you're seeing everybody for the second time. It's time to adjust, read and react. And that's what Blake Snell has an opportunity to do. He was dominant before. Coming in here 3-0, he had 1 hiccup, and he's got a chance to make the adjustment.
Umpiring crew for this one, Alan Porter is behind home plate. The crew chief Mark Weckner down the left field line. The series has gone back and forth. 6-2 Blue Jays in Game 4, getting off of the deck after the gut punch of an 18-inning loss. 5 2/3 innings from Shane Bieber, gave up just the 1 run. They had the big home run from Vlad Jr., and then they had what John Schneider said is a Blue Jay inning, that 4-run 7th. And now here we go for Game 5. Who heads back to Canada 1 win away from winning it all?
Blue Jays will know right away the game plan from Blake Snell, and I think the game plan is going to be establishing that fastball. And of course, everything works off that fastball. Curveball he can throw for a strike, changeup that he wants to swing and a miss.
Here he comes off and going Game 5 with a fastball that's hit in the air to deep left field. Call to the track. It's on the first pitch of Game 5. Davis Schneider into George Springer's shoes and doing a great impression. How about that? Ready for a first pitch fastball and an ambush to start Game 5 with a bang.
That jacket has been super important to the Blue Jays, and ironically that's the first solo home run in the World Series by the Blue Jays. A plan and react, and he went up there with a plan to swing, and he got rewarded. That's a shock to the system of the Dodgers.
First home run of the postseason for Davis Schneider, who's just 3 for 16 in the playoffs, but he is the latest guy to step into a role for Toronto and come through. And so you get punched on the very first pitch, and now Vlad Jr. hooks a ball down the left field line. They've got back-to-back to start Game 5. Three pitches in, 2-0 Toronto. Wow.
You wonder when 2 heavyweights are going at each other, who is going to deliver the first blow? Well, they were ready to hit the fastball. You felt like Snell was going to establish his fastball tonight because he didn't do that in Toronto. And the first 2 hitters, I don't know if that's ever happened in his career where the first 2 hitters have hit home runs.
Now it's Bichette. So how do you bounce back from that if you're Blake Snell?
Well, I mean, read and react. So right now, the other team's telling you what they're going to do to your fastball if you don't place it well. So now he's gone to some breaking balls. And this is what is so incredibly great and awful at the same time. When you're facing a guy back-to-back, 1 and 5, it's about making adjustments. It's about reading what he tried to do before and vice versa.
0-2 to Bichette. Grounded foul. So you got a home run from Davis Schneider. You got another home run from Vlad Jr. And you've got Bo Bichette looking more and more comfortable crushed a ball off of the wall his last time up last night. John Schneider said he's already looked impressive after missing a month and a half, but then that swing has everybody thinking, here he comes. I asked Bo, I said, did something click in there? Because he'd been getting on base, but just kind of finding his way on, putting it in play. He said, the swing has felt good, but I will be honest, I did want to show everybody what I've really got. First time playing on this big stage. And that was his first time really getting into a ball and looking like himself.
Well, you could see the shock in the crowd. They just sat down, and it's 2-0. Blake Snell is going to have to be mentally tough now to just keep pitching and making pitches and adjust. Just like that.
That's the change up to get the first out of the ball game.
Well, the first one's more of a culture shock because it's like, wait, what just happened? The second guy, you almost kind of expect that if it's not located well, he's going to do some damage. And then Springer, of course, that's the loosest club I've seen since doing this full time as a broadcaster. Toronto has had everything you mentioned. Punches thrown, devastating 18 inning. You would never know it walking into their locker room game to game.
Alejandro Kirk, and you just saw in the 705th World Series game all time, this is the first time that a team has gone back-to-back home runs to begin. You could, talking about the vibe of the clubhouse, you could walk through there not knowing what day of the year it is and have somebody tell you it's day 5 of spring training and not think that they're crazy. Kirk goes up the middle with a base hit, and he's now 6 for 8 against Blake Snell in his career. We talk about the Dodgers starters being what brought them here, being their biggest strength and advantage in this series. But you start to look outside of Yamamoto's complete game, the rest of the starters for the Dodgers have given up 13 runs in 16 innings.
Well, this is a different team, and we tried to tell everybody that the Dodgers were going to face a different type offense. Yeah, you can maybe compare them to Milwaukee, but they have a lot more power than Milwaukee.
Here's a bouncing ball to second for Tommy Edman. They go to Mookie Betts for one. Over to first, a double play. Broad history in this first inning. Back-to-back home runs from Davis Schneider on the very first pitch, and then Vlad Jr. 2 pitches later. Jays have a 2-0 lead before the Dodgers come up. We're actually going to hang on right here. Looks like the Dodgers are going to challenge at first. Or the Blue Jays, beg your pardon, going to challenge that call at first.
It looked pretty close live. I don't know. We haven't seen a replay yet, but he's fairly confident standing out there. Yep. Ty goes to the runner.
Replay review is presented by Zoom. And so it looks like Varsho is going to be on here on the fielder's choice. John Schneider said that, hey, my job as a manager is to stay steady. Even if I don't always feel steady, like things are stable. Said it's my job to keep that front so guys can feed off of me. And he said every time that I find myself maybe doubting how steady I should be, these guys calm me. They find a way to come back. And he used the word fulfilling for what the experience has been to manage this group of guys all year. He's been managing for 15 years, not just obviously the majors, just a few years, but back to a decade of managing in the minor leagues. He said this is his favorite group he's ever had. The only group where he's never felt the need to call a meeting. They've kind of managed themselves when it's come to that stuff. And he's got them within 2 wins, the franchise's first World Series in 32 years.
He needs a change up here.
To Ernie Clement. No. And it is, but it misses.
Ernie Clement loves the first pitch, and we've seen the aggressiveness of Toronto on full display. Usually when they make things happen, it's 3 pitches or less per at bat.
Maybe that fast break analogy that Tom Verducci made last night. Don't let you settle in. I mean, you spend all week thinking about, okay, how am I going to get back at these guys after I struggled in game 1, and then 3 pitches in and you're in a 2-0 hole. David Popkins' side just doesn't let you up for breath. Snell's 1-0 pitch. There goes Varsho. Throw from Smith is in time, and that's the inning. Will Smith, one of the best in baseball at doing just that. That does it for the Jays in the first. Schneider and Guerrero back to back. 2-0. They're saying, hang on, let's take a look again. Thought the inning was over a moment ago. This time, they're going to challenge again. Deja vu.
This is torture for Blake Snell. I know he can't do anything about it. He's walked off the field twice.
Challenging the out call at second base.
This is, to my first experience seeing back-to-back challenges from the same player.
How about an inning that has back-to-back homers to start it and then back-to-back challenges to maybe finish it? Blake saying, I've had this has not been fun. I've walked off of the field twice, given up 2 home runs.
I think this one's going to stand. What do you say?
Yeah, I'll go with you. Let's see. Again, the call on the field is that he's out, and so close. Strings don't count.
Well, they're satisfied. The Dodgers are satisfied. They're going in the dugout.
After review, the call on the field stands.
There you go.
Runner is out.
All right, so still one challenge left for the Blue Jays. Now we're going to take a break. No Springer, no problem. Davis Schneider up into the leadoff spot. Jacks a homer on the first pitch of Game 5. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. follows him with his 8th of the postseason. And the Dodgers look to strike back with a different-looking lineup, as the guys detailed before first pitch. Mookie Betts, for the first time in 4 years, drops down and bats third. Same order in the middle. Freeman, Hernandez, and Tommy Edman. The other shakeup comes down at the bottom of the order, where the leash is gone for Andy Pages. Alex Call is in there, getting his first start since the division series. And here's Trey Savage.
Trey Savage did not have his split finger. That pitch is as good as it gets. And for him to have that pitch is the only way he can get through this Dodgers lineup, unless that fastball is electric and pinpointed.
22-year-old from Boyertown, Pennsylvania, home to Shohei Ohtani with a fastball low. He went just 4 innings in Game 1. Gets a lot of chase when he's right. The Dodgers were very patient, walked 3 times, and he threw 20 pitches per inning. Here's his 1-0, and that is a splitter for a strike.
The one thing I'll be looking for, and I'm sure the Dodgers are looking for, when he has that fastball out of that 7'1" release, it has carry. If it's cutting and pulled down, not what he wants. Because that's what sets up his slider split. Because he can throw it off that plane and he can throw a fastball up in the zone, the hitters have no choice. And anything that looks middle, they're going to have to go after it. And if it's a splitter, they're not going to hit it.
Same thing with Snell, where we talk about his changeup. The right to throw that changeup, the right to throw his splitter, comes off that fastball, which he did not have. He only threw 50% of them for strikes in Game 1. And Dave Roberts was talking to us before the game today. He said, yeah, we had him out of the game, but that was because of foul balls. We didn't really take advantage of him missing with his fastball. 2-2 on Ohtani. And a 2-0 game already.
Well, the biggest thing about pitchers like this, you don't see very many of them. The reason is it's hard to throw with command at that height. And it's a lot of torque on your shoulder. And it's hard, though, for the hitter because they don't see that release point. So his fastball miles per hour way down from when we saw him against the New York Yankees.
Ohtani bounces it back to him, pops out of his glove, and calmly shovels it over there.
And this being his first World Series or postseason start on the road, you got to understand, you've documented his journey. Here's the release point, and that Major League Baseball average is 5.8. So that's just really the window that they're seeing. Majority of the players are seeing is at 5.8. Now this window's way up high, and it's like you're looking way up high, and you're looking for anything that'll tip off what he's throwing. And it's hard, and that's why his splitter, which he did not have it in Toronto, has to be an effective pitch tonight.
One away for Will Smith. Fastball to the outside corner for a strike, and so the uniqueness is a big part of what has made him so good so far. Like you said, the Dodgers getting a second look, but John Schneider made the point he was so off in game 1 that if he's himself, it's going to still be unique.
Yeah, it'll be a different look for sure.
There's a fly ball to left field that he hooks off the end of the bat a touch, and David Schneider will put it away. All right, so Mookie Betts hitting third for the first time in years. Dave Roberts trying to take a little bit of pressure off of him with everything funneling to him after the conservative pitching the Blue Jays have used on Ohtani. Yeah, Betts just 147 since the start of the championship series.
And in his first at bat, I've not seen him swing at any first pitch in the first at bat of the game.
And so they just pump it right down the middle
every single time. There's no reason until he changes that scouting report, and who knows, maybe it'll come in the most crazy of times, but until then he's putting himself for the most part in an 0-1. Now he knows and can hit with 2 strikes. Don't get me wrong, he is a great hitter with 2 strikes, but it's still, you've got to change that scouting report eventually on one of these pitchers.
Savage home with an 0-2, and he strikes him out, finishing off a 1-2-3 first inning, and a first inning for the Blue Jays that could not have gone better. Final game of the season in Los Angeles. Dodgers and Jays tied up 2-2 in this fall classic. Ernie Clement, who is up there with a caught stealing to finish off the first inning, leads off the second, fouls off a curve from Blake Snell. Well, October, a time where guys like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. can solidify their names, and where guys like Ernie Clement can make theirs. Up the middle he goes on a bounce to Mookie Betts for the first out of the second. Clement has a 10-game hitting streak. He's hitting .393 for the postseason. Yeah, Vlad, the 8 home runs, setting the Blue Jays franchise record, but Clement has really been the piece that's made the lineup feel so long. I say the piece, but then we got to get off of the graphic and introduce the next guy coming up, and it's Addison Barger, and these breakout guys at the bottom just keep on coming at you.
They do, and that's what makes it so special.
Barger right side and through. Addison Barger, 5 hits over the first 2+ games here in L.A.
Well, now what the Blue Jays have done is said we don't value your fastball, Blake Snell. So they've taken fastballs and they've done damage on it. They put it in play. That one might have been a slider, so that's a different pitch. But the fact that they're going up there being aggressive in the strike zone is their DNA.
Got our first one away. Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. So many guys that are hitting. The Blue Jays have been able to afford an 0 for 12 from Kiner-Falefa at the plate because he's helped them defensively. And that's the other thing. These Blue Jays have played 9 consecutive errorless games on defense. Got a chase. Got a little help there.
That's that changeup that has great movement. This is the 6th time in the series they've had a multi-run inning. One at a time usually doesn't beat you. It just doesn't. Multi-scoring innings are just so hard to come back from.
Well, the 7th inning last night, that was a 4-run inning. That was the 4th 4+ run inning of this World Series. The Dodgers haven't scored more than 2 in an inning.
Yeah, and that just speaks again to the inconsistency that the Dodgers are running into. Guys have gone into a funk at the wrong time, but their pitchers have kept them in it.
Backdoor breaking pitch, 2-2. But that offense is going to have to come to life, or this season's going to end without a back-to-back title.
Yeah, I mean, that will be the thinking. The one thing that Toronto is not banking on is this being a bonus game, knowing they're going to go home. There's no bonus in Game 6 when you face Yamamoto.
2-2 is popped up down the line. Teoscar Hernandez, see if he's got room. He does. 2 out. You know, it's interesting. Game 5, normally the fear is on behalf of the team playing its last home game. You can't go 3-2 back to the other place. But because of Yamamoto room in there in Game 6, there's fear operating in both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you would feel if you told Dodger fans, hey, you're going to be up 3-2 going into Game 6, and you got Yamamoto, boom.
Don't care where we play it, they'd say. You play it on the moon. Andres Jimenez knocked in a run in the 7th inning last night. The first of those 4 runs with what you and John Schneider agreed was one of the best at-bats of this postseason for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it might not show up in their totality of what they did yesterday, but it sure moved the line along. Don't be confused by his 188 because runners in scoring position, he's been pretty good.
7 for 14. Only guys in the Blue Jays that have driven in more runs than their 9-hitter Jimenez, Vlad, and Kirk.
Runners on base 375. Those 2 home runs coming into Seattle setting the tone there for the comeback.
Yeah, missed a lot of this season with injuries. Known for his glove. Getting to be known for his clutch bat. Snell looking for a bounce back inning. His 0-2. It's cut on and missed. 97 to the top rail. Blake Snell had not thrown a fastball since he gave up 2 of them over the first 3 pitches of the game, but he used it to finish off Jimenez. And this is the Dome at Cosm in Inglewood near SoFi Stadium, which is a shared reality experience. Displays of this broadcast are being wrapped around an entire audience, every seat totally immersed in the game. As Freddie Freeman leads off this inning, takes a splitter for a strike from Trey Savage. That splitter looks a lot better.
Already has the feel of the pitch that we got to see against the Yankees and really against Seattle.
And then the slider, which he had to throw 32 times. And I say had to because he didn't have the other ones. He didn't want to have to throw that pitch 32 times.
No, the order of operation will be fastball top of the zone, splitter starting in the middle, working its way out of the zone. Now with Freddie Freeman, his ability to get last minute bat on that kind of ball is unique in itself. So you're going to have to throw a fastball at the top of the zone. If you want to get him to miss your splitter, he has to see a fastball at the top of the zone, change his eye level.
Another 0-2 from Savage, popped out of his hand, 1-2. All 5 hits for Freddie Freeman in this World Series, including the walk-off, have come with 2 strikes. So he's been for a long time, so tough to put away. 36-year-old reigning World Series MVP on a 1-2 pitch. There's that high fastball, and he fouls it off.
It's got to be higher. I mean, Freddie's angle of attack and the way that he used his wrists, it's not something you would teach in today's hitting, but it's so unique to him. It's why he's such a great hitter for so long.
Another 1-2 from Savage. Breaks inside and the count evens up. Built that swing with his dad Fred on fields down in Orange County. They go there after school every day. Buckets of baseballs. Hit them all the other way. Hit them all up the middle. Hit them all to the pole side. Rinse and repeat. On his way to the big leagues. 2-2.
I got you.
There's Fred. Always has a first or second row seat here. One of the great images of last year's World Series was their embrace after the grand slam. 8th pitch to his boy is swung on and missed. He finished it with a splitter.
This splitter has such great late action in the strike zone. We haven't seen the tumbler yet, meaning the one that really, when you hear the term fall off the table, just roll a ball off the table and see what it does. That's literally falls off the table. And you got to have that, a little bit of that carry to his fastball to make it harder on these hitters.
Missed away with his first one to Teoscar Hernandez. 0 for 7 in the first 2 games of this World Series, but 5 out of 11 with a home run since coming here to Dodger Stadium. On the 1-0. Watches the splitter fall in. 1-1. So we were talking about Trey Savage before we came on the air, and you said you expected that he would find that splitter. Even though it looked bad in game 1, you were a guy that threw a splitter. I'm going to ask you after he throws this, Why were you so confident that he'd be able to find it that quick?
Because it's a field pitch, and when it doesn't feel like it feels like you got a softball in your hand, there's no way to throw it. And you go into mechanics in the bullpen and you just get that feel back. Throwing a fastball, you can get away with murder. You could throw it kind of falling all over the place. Throwing a split finger, it's like throwing a fastball, but you have to have the grip. The grip does everything. And sometimes there's a day where the ball just doesn't feel good, and you throw it away until you get one that feels good. And sometimes the mechanics of it and your feel are not connected. Much better feel tonight, it looks like.
And he's used it to get 3 consecutive strikeouts. Retire him in the first 5 in Game 5. And he's using everything perfectly balanced. 8 fastballs, 8 splitters, 7 sliders.
That's way better than 32 sliders.
Right, when that's their 3rd best pitch.
Yeah, he was fighting hard to stay in that game. Give him all the credit for a young, inexperienced pitcher to keep the Dodgers to only 2 runs with the stuff that he had was remarkable, because he kept them in the game, and then of course they went on to win that game.
Tommy Edman with 2 away, and the bases empty. Dodgers looking for their first base runner. 1 ball, no strikes. If it happened to just be picking up this World Series, learning about the Blue Jays. Trey Savage, he only got 3 starts in the regular season to get used to the majors. Called up in mid-September. His 5th postseason start. So 3 regular season starts in the big leagues, 5 postseason starts for him. For a guy that started the season in front of 300 people pitching an A-ball. Touched every level of the minor league ladder on his way up. Incredible rise. Finishing in the World Series. He's still living in a hotel in Toronto. Of course, you come up in mid-September, you're not thinking about really getting a place, but the season has kept on going, and every time they leave, he's got to check out of the hotel room and put all his stuff in his truck. He says it looks like a giant storage unit. Swing and a miss from Tommy Edman, and he strikes out the side in the 2nd. They might just let him stay in the hotel as long as he wants. He keeps doing this. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow @PlayBall on social media. Back to the top of the Blue Jays order. Buckle up quick. Davis Schneider, who homered on the first pitch of the ball game. Blitzing Game 5 the way he blitzed into the major leagues when he hit a home run over the Green Monster in his very first at-bat. The first 3 games of his career that weekend at Fenway Park, he had 9 hits, a new major league record. They were writing headlines in Toronto, Babe Schneider. They fell in love with this guy no matter what he does the rest of the way throughout his career. Jays fans never going to forget the way he started it, the way that he started this Game 5.
He's got a different stance today. Did you notice that?
Wonder who he's mimicking now. Here's that swing that Vlad Jr. followed with one of his own. So he had been mimicking Will Smith. Ken Rosenthal was detailing this for us, that anytime he feels like his swing is a little bit off, instead of messing with mechanics, he will literally try to look like another major league hitter.
Well, that ain't Will Smith today.
It's like trying to place a face. It's like it's on the tip of my tongue.
We'll get it. Oh, trust me, we'll get it. Unless he changes it again.
This time Snell strikes him out. Whoever it was, he's going to have to retire that guy. Ken Rosenthal.
Most hitters are rather particular about their stances, but Davis Schneider is not most hitters. As you said, he likes to mimic hitters he admires, and his recent fascination with Will Smith was something else. Now, Schneider says imitating other hitters gets his mind off his own swing, and I don't know how he does it, but somehow his hands and body get to the right place. Earlier this season, he mimicked Bobby Witt Jr. and Giancarlo Stanton, and in Colorado, he hit 2 home runs as Aaron Judge.
Well, if you want to hit a home run, that'd be a good guy to mimic. 1-0 pitch to Vlad Jr. Swing and a miss. First changeup that he's located in the strike zone, by the way. I know we're going to get to the bottom of that. If there's a guy to get to the bottom of it, it's Ken Rosenthal down there. Snell's 1-1 pitch. And I know that some of you are sitting at home just yelling at the TV. You know exactly who it is. Call. You can text me 517-31. That's literally the first 5 numbers, but you think I'm giving you all 9?
Well, we talked about Savage at 7-1. We got Snell as the 3rd highest release point of left-handed starters. So he himself is up there in about the 6.5 range. So we got 2 of the highest release point pitchers in the game. There you go, 6.5 vertical release point, and that is what a hitter is looking at. He can spin it, man. I'm telling you, he can throw a breaking ball about as good as any left-hander in the game and be hard to pick up.
So after the walk to Guerrero, here's Bichette. Bounces one to short. Bichette not running well. They'll only get the out at second as the throw from Betts was nowhere close. That was an easy double play with with Bo dealing with that knee injury, and they don't get it.
Well, that one just sped up on Mookie. I mean, there's probably a little bit of a forgot who was running, because you could have made a throw a lot. He could have been way more patient with the throw, knowing who was running. That ball just kind of slipped out of his hand, which is another reason.
So you got to face Kirk now. Swings over the top of a first pitch curveball. Blake Snell's got to figure something out against Kirk, who's reached all 4 times that he's faced him in this World Series, and is 6 out of 8 lifetime. Snell's 0-1 pitch. 0-2.
I know Freddie is given a little bit of respect being close to the bag, but he can really play behind Bichette. There's no chance Bichette's going to steal with his knee the way it is. And it would help defend that right side of the infield that we've seen Kirk take advantage of.
Wide open over there. Here's an 0-2, and a high fastball misses. 32-year-old from Seattle in his 10th major league season. I know that he's hoping he can bear down and look back at this as one that he'd be proud of after the 2 home runs over the first 3 pitches. How deep can he get? His 1-2 to Kirk. It is fouled off. For you pitchers talk about it, it's not always the 8 shutout innings that you love. It's those games where you got punched.
Yeah.
You still found a way to help your team win.
Absolutely. I mean, he's 3-0 before that first World Series start, dominating. This would be a better start than any of those 3 starts that he won if he held them to 2 runs and his team came back and won. I'm just telling you, that's the kind of shock in the first inning, like boom, boom. And then you hold him down and give your team a chance to rally.
Out of the 1-2 to Kirk in the dirt. Stopped by Smith, and to dance around Alejandro. And Bichette goes back to first. This guy that early on in his career so talented, he said relied on just that kind of mindlessly. Won a Cy Young in his 3rd season, but more and more throughout his career has evolved into a guy that thinks deeply about the game. So you got the talent that's always been there with the wisdom that he's gained over a decade, and trying to put that all to use tonight, being tested in the World Series. His 2-2 again, right down the line foul.
Well, in Tampa, you know, and even in the other places he went to, he was a byproduct of throwing a ton of pitches, striking out a ton of guys, walking too many, and pitching 5 innings. Now you've seen the elite level of what he's gone to, breaking through that shell in the postseason, getting to the 6th and beyond, the 7th, the 8th.
He strikes out Kirk. And after the 2 home runs to start the game, he's got 4 strikeouts and nothing since. Coming up this weekend on Fox, it's the Vikings in an NFC North showdown against Jared Goff and the
Lions, baby.
Jaguars take on the Raiders, or other regional action. You can check your local listings for the game in your area Sunday on Fox. Dodgers down 2-0 on back-to-back home runs to start this game from Schneider and Guerrero. Meanwhile, Trey Savage, perhaps boosted by that early offense, going out there pitching with the lead, has retired the first 6 and has struck out 4 in a row. Max Muncy starts the third. One ball, 1 strike. Strikeout stuff when he's right. Unfazed. Seems like every start you're saying biggest start of his career. And then the next one happens and oh, this is the biggest start of his career. It's his 5th postseason start. He mentioned first one on the road. Even during the regular season, those 3 major league starts that he made, only one of them was in a true major league road park. One of them came in Tampa Bay, where they're playing at a minor league park. The other one was in Kansas City. Yeah, this is different. They say they drafted him, though. Yeah, for the uniqueness, but for the demeanor. His 2-2. In the dirt for ball 3.
Well, the biggest thing he's going to find out is he's navigated a journey unlike anybody else. Going into the offseason, getting that shoulder as strong as possible, learning how to repeat his mechanics, because throwing strikes is going to be the key. He'll last as long as he throws strikes from that angle. It's a tough angle to just be consistent. He's been really good so far.
He strikes out Muncy with a slider to the knees, and it's 5 in a row.
You know, Kirk has talked about Muncy's going to go look on the iPad. He's talked about the uniqueness of that slider, and he's encouraged umpires not to give up on it because of the uniqueness of it. It doesn't turn the corner right to left. It holds the plane and goes down like that. And you wouldn't think that that would be a compliment to a split that kind of goes down, but the split goes down and in, or away from a left-hander into a right-hander, and this slider just goes straight down.
Here's 0-1 to Kike Hernandez. He's sticking with it right here. Straight down and even an inch arm side. If you were just to simply describe a slider, it'd be a pitch that moves glove side. But his actually goes the other way. There are 4 sliders in the major leagues, the entire big leagues, that have that movement profile.
Now that can get you in trouble, but if you get it on the right side of the plate and they don't know what's coming.
Here's a high drive. Forget about it. Kike Hernandez finds the seats. First of the World Series for Kike Hernandez, and the Dodgers are on the board.
He's been working on keeping that front shoulder in, and boy did he. Fastball location, obviously a pitcher knows right now he's just looking for a new ball. He doesn't have to turn around and see how far it goes. You know when you release it, there's no timeouts. You got to deal with it.
No timeouts, and these days there's the pitch clock. You got to go deal with it right away. Fastball downstairs for Alex Call. Hernandez giving the Dodgers a jolt, and now a guy that Dave Roberts hopes does the same. And Call getting his first start since the division series. Andy Pages 4 for 50 in these playoffs, and so even though his defense has been good in center field, Dave Roberts said, look, at this point 2-2, we got to get more offense. And he goes to Call, who's reached base 7 of his 12 times up this October.
And that's just another theme that's been continuing for the Dodgers. Solo home runs. And they're great, but it takes a lot of them. So you've got to manufacture. If you're going to rely solely on the solo home runs, that's a tough ask unless your pitcher is lights out.
Clear advantage like we talked about for the Jays with the big innings. Also a clear advantage with the big swings. They've had 5 out of their 7 home runs have been with a man on base as that pitch just misses. For the Dodgers, all 8 or 7 of the 8 have been solo shots. Digs it out, flies it to center field for Varsho. It carries, but Varsho runs it down 2 away. Another look at Hernandez's long ball.
I mean, that fastball went the wrong way. You see where he was trying to throw it, and the ball had lateral movement, and that's a feeling I am very familiar with.
Couple guys that are pretty good at sports. Sandy Koufax, Magic Johnson, who threw out the ceremonial first pitch before this game 5. Back to the top of the order, Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani 0 for 3 yesterday. The MVP chance start for a guy who, in the losses in the postseason for the Dodgers, is 1 for 12. He goes, they go. Ohtani takes a strike, 1-1. Nope. Ball 2.
To throw that high or have that high release point, you have to arch. You have to. There's just no way to get downhill without arching your back and getting that arm way above your head. There's the arch. And then what happens is when he's locked in, throwing high fastballs should be pretty easy. But when you try to throw down, that's when it gets disjointed. That is like this action way up high. Trying to throw a ball down is not natural.
6'4", most over-the-top release point in the majors. A 2-2 to Ohtani. Yes, swung on and missed. Swings himself out of his helmet on a disappearing splitter that ends the 3rd. Dodgers get their first base runner, and it produces their first run. A home run makes Game 5 2-1.
Welcome back to Los Angeles, here with Blue Jays manager John Schneider. John, Trey Savage, 6 strikeouts. The only hit he allowed was the home run by Kike Hernandez. What has been the difference in him from Game 1?
Split, I think secondary stuff. Split has a good feel for it. And again, it's a totally different look when that pitch is on, when you're seeing a guy again in the same series. But just the one mistake heater to Kike, the kind of leak back fastball, but his split and his slider have been really good. Davis
Schneider led off this game with a first pitch home run. He is something of a unique character. What would you like people to know about him?
That he's he's a blue collar guy. He's never had anything given to him, never a big prospect. So he's earned everything he's gotten. He's been down to the minor leagues this year. He's kind of figured out what works for him, and he's a really likable guy. And I think his teammates have really kind of grasped onto him a little bit.
George Springer, what is the latest?
Georgie is he's feeling good. He's been moving around, hitting in the cage a little bit. Definitely a possibility if we need him at some point for an at-bat or 2. So we'll see how the game goes the rest of the way and see if he's needed.
John, thanks a lot. Oh, and by the way, everyone in America, you can stop texting Joe Davis about Davis Schneider's stance. I asked him what was going on, who was he imitating?
This ball's down the line, Kenny, and Dalton Varsho's got extra bases. He's headed for 3rd. He's going to turn the corner and hang on.
So I asked him, all right, who are you imitating tonight? And he said, oh, it's my own stance from the minor leagues. So the answer to who Davis Schneider is mimicking tonight is Davis Schneider.
All right, going back to an old swing of his.
This play here, you're going to want to redo. When you go to dive and you can't stop it or catch it, it's a triple. So in that regard, Teoscar could have held him to a single, made the full commitment to dive. The effort was there, but then it turns into a triple
with nobody out.
Yeah, that's the tough part. That's the decision outfielders have to make.
Ball on Ernie Clement, and this is another gap in this series. We mentioned the Blue Jays have not made an error in their last 9 games. That's not going to show up as an error, and neither is Betts' play last inning, and that didn't bite him. But Dodgers not tight on defense. 1-0 to Clement, trying to take advantage. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Dave Roberts is putting his infield back. He's going to trust his offense, and he doesn't want to create a bigger inning for the Blue Jays because he knows Clement's going to put the ball in play more than likely. Now, obviously, Snell wants to prevent that. But with 2 strikes, Clement will do everything he can to hit a ground ball. I doubt Dave Roberts will bring in the infield with 2 strikes on the batter.
Snell to the plate. Clement lines the ball to center field. Kike Hernandez makes the catch. Here comes Varsho. Hernandez's throw flat-footed, has no chance, and the Blue Jays take advantage of the defensive misplay to make it 3-1.
And that's no small item. When the Dodgers had rallied to cut it to half with that home run.
Man, you could not have a better contrast right there. Mistake defensively for the Dodgers, and then the Blue Jays immediately make them pay for it. This was aided right here, but this has been part of their damage all postseason, putting pressure on immediately, getting the leadoff guy on at an all-star rate as a team.
Well, all that means now is Teoscar's going to hit a home run.
Right? He sets you up. Does something that makes you pull your hair out if you're a Dodger fan, and then make you wrap your arms around him. Barger ahead 2-0. Barger singled his first time. He's hitting close to 400 over the last 10 games. It goes back to a game at Yankee Stadium where John Schneider had to pull him aside and say, take a breath, slow down, calm down. He's just 25 years old. And things are moving pretty fast for him. He's a high effort player. But to make the adjustment that quickly and go on this hot streak like this, really impressive.
You know what I see him doing after baseball? Getting banned from softball.
I could totally see it. One of those long drive hitters in softball.
Yeah. Just launch it.
On a 2-1 from Snell. He takes in the dirt for ball 3.
At no point so far in the series, in the playoffs, has the crowd been this quiet.
Don't roar.
And I could probably, yeah, but not when your team's out on the field.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I can promise you this: in Toronto, at no point in the 9 innings, they're going to be hoping that's all they have to play. Will it be quiet?
Game 6 on Friday night back at Rogers Center. One of these teams will be 1 win from winning it all. A payoff to Barger is taken downstairs. Ball 4. Second walk that the Blue Jays have taken. But T-Mobile, the best network in the game, is now the best network in America.
So there's 3 left-handers in this lineup that I thought, when Blake Snell got this scorecard, would be impossible at bats for the 3 left-handers. And 2 of them have now reached base, well, technically 4 times on a fielder's choice and a walk, with Jimenez being the strikeout. When you get that lineup, as we talked about all the time, you're like, oh shoot, first guy, second and third hitter can't let me beat it. But then there's lanes to go to, and when those left-handers are getting on base, just think of the value that is for the Toronto offense.
Slap down the right field line, foul.
Because that's a tough at bat against a great left-hander with the angles he creates, and there's a reason why they don't put that many left-handers in the lineup against him on a regular basis.
Sandy Koufax always tells young Dodger pitchers, the good guys are going to get their hits. You have to get out the guys you should. Counter for left, and tries to lay off, but couldn't. 2 out. Strikeout number 5 for Blake Snell. 3-1 game, top of the 4th. Andres Jimenez climbs in. Another one of those left-handed hitters. And Snell, who had a sub-1 ERA over his first 3 starts of the postseason, 8 scoreless innings in the championship series, has given up 8 runs in less than 9 innings in the World Series. Fastballs by Jimenez.
Because when you see arm side hitters, you notice his fastball has been extra special and different against Jimenez and left-handed hitters. The breaking ball has an angle that goes away from him. I was surprised how many changeups he threw to Varsho when he walked him. Same thing with Barger. Or I'm sorry, Varsho got the triple, not the walk, but Barger's the one that got the walk.
Strike two. Fans getting their last shouts in the final game of this 2025 season in LA. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jimenez. Snell delivers. Tries to lay off. Couldn't. Back-to-back strikeouts to the bottom 2 in the order. But the Blue Jays waste no time getting the run right back. It's a leadoff triple from Dalton Varsho as Hernandez miscalculates and a sac fly follows. It's 3-1 in Game 5.
Welcome back to Dodger Stadium with Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. You talked about wanting to see more committed swings. Kike Hernandez counting his favor. Is that what you want to see more of?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, I think the first time through and last time, obviously we missed some heaters, and right there that was a convicted swing on a heater up in the zone. Got the head to it. So yeah, I mean, this guy's gonna, he's using the slider versus right, some left. The split's obviously his out pitch, and he sort of shows his fastball. But we just got to keep taking good at bats. A lot of baseball left.
Toronto Blue Jays have more than half their hits on first or second pitches of at bats. They started this game 2 home runs in the first 3 pitches. What do you have to do to counteract that?
Let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna wait on this challenge right here. You know what, I think that, what was your question? I'm sorry, Chief.
It's about the first early count swinging beginning in this game.
Yeah, these guys, we know these guys are aggressive early in the count, so you just got to make a quality pitch early, and obviously they got us on the Schneider first pitch. Vlad got us on the heater. But I think after that, I think Blake's been really good, to be quite honest with you. So, yeah, we got our guy out there, and he's going to keep going.
Thanks so much, Dave.
All right, keep it.
That slider right there from Trey Savage with you threw out a necessity in Game 1. He's throwing with confidence here. He's had 12 swings against that pitch, 8 misses. And there it is again.
He's comfortable in the release point right now. When you see Trey Savage, again, we talked about it, when he's got this splitter working down and the slider working down, the hitter has really no chance to recognize which one it is. But it still starts off the fastball, and if you can throw enough of them, then the hitters will be guessing the rest of the night.
Struck out Betts on 3 pitches last time. Starts him with a fastball here. He has set a new record for a rookie pitcher, 34 strikeouts in 1 postseason, breaking that of the guy that was probably the best comparison for him coming in and short amount of time to get ready for the postseason. Michael Wacha back in 2013 with the Cardinals. 1 year after he was drafted, made 9 starts in the regular season, and then went 4-1 in the playoffs as St. Louis won the pennant. That was 3 times as many tune-up starts for Michael Wacha as this guy had. Strike 2 on Betts. That is 8 strikeouts for Trey Savage.
See, the one thing about pitchers and the advantage that they have, they can make the necessary adjustments within 5 days. Hitters, when they're struggling, they don't have any time. You got to get out there the next day. So there's very little time to make those adjustments. And you see that splitter so connected. Change of speed and movement.
Freddie Freeman, strike 1. All 3 pitches doing what he wants. After, like John Schneider said, as off as they've seen him just a week ago in Game 1. Home with an 0-1. Fastballs by him, back-to-back heaters, nothing in 2. This is starting to take on a feel of that Yankees start in the division series.
He was shaking his head there because he was trying to get it in and missed away, but the fastball velocity was still good enough that he got a swing and a miss.
And then he hits Freeman on a 2-strike pitch. And the Dodgers in offense reaching and stretching, looking for anything, has to look at this as a crack in the door. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by T-Mobile, now the best network in America. Well, here's his first chance to make up for the defensive misplay. Teoscar Hernandez comes up with 2 out as the tying run. Roll up the middle. Jimenez gets there, has no play. Infield hit Teoscar Hernandez. And they're at first and second with 2 away.
And again, this is where you got to be careful. He doesn't have a ton of experience, but innocent innings, striking out the world. 0-2 pitch, he hits Freddie Freeman. We talked about how hard it is to get 3 outs in a postseason game. And now you got instant traffic and the leading run at home plate.
Now the Dodgers had traffic in yesterday's game, but went 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and that has been the single biggest issue in this World Series. These situations. Tommy Edman overthrown, ball 1.
Yeah, Tommy Edman, switch hitter, and you probably wonder what's he doing. Well, he's trying to take away that split and the angle that he has against left-handers. So by batting right-handed, he's going to see a rarity, really, because he doesn't do this against a lot of right-handed pitchers, but he's trying to take away the angle of the split.
Only guy that he did it against during the regular season was Jeremiah Estrada, reliever for the San Diego Padres, choosing to forfeit the platoon advantage. That's how unique Savage is. Let's get a quick word from Capital One.
What's been the highlight of your career?
And that'd have to be
bank guy.
I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
What's in your wallet?
Freeman at second. Teoscar Hernandez at first. 1-0 to the plate. Tommy Edman swings and misses, and it's 1-1.
When you spike a slider like that, the tendency is you've thrown it. You know, you spike it because you're trying to break it. You got to hang on to it a little bit longer. He did a nice job there.
Pop fly back of the diamond. And Trey Savage, first time there's a little pressure against him, does not break. They strand 2. And after 4, 3-1 Toronto. Back after word from your local Fox station. Sun has gone down here in Los Angeles. 3-1. The Blue Jays in front to the top of the 5th inning of Game 5. And the top of the order with Davis Schneider lofting a curveball to the right field corner. Teoscar Hernandez out of room. And an adventure over there for Hernandez in these middle innings. Blake Snell gave up back-to-back home runs to start this game. The first time that's ever happened in the World Series. 1 run in the 3 innings since. With a 3-1 deficit. Schneider and the Blue Jays try to take this back to Canada, a win away from winning it all. Guerrero, Bichette to follow. Whoa. Missed away with the changeup. The Blue Jays got 5 hits against that changeup of Blake Snell in Game 1. That's the most that he had given up in his career. And he has just not had the feel for it tonight either.
You want to give out the 4 letters of your email?
I'll just go ahead and have him text me. 650 thought that he was doing Nico Horner. 818 thought that he was doing Zach Cozart. Respect for digging deep there. John from Chicago said he's doing a George Springer impression. Walker Buehler, last year's World Series hero, thought he was doing Rob Schneider.
Yeah, I thought there for a second could have been a little Bregman. Glavine thought maybe it was a good. That was a good call. I thought a little Bregman.
Couldn't lay off. Oh, no, he could. Lays off the curveball in the dirt, and he's worked the count full.
Everyone's surprised. Even Schneider, I think. It looked violent. Well, let's see if he went.
Ah.
You know what? It looked violent. And so the violent check swing could have gone either way, but not as egregious as everyone might think.
Two men were right. Davis Schneider and the home plate umpire, Alan Porter. They're down to first. Jordan Baker with that call as well. Winds up taking the walk. Third one that Snell has issued, and here comes Vlad Jr. And yeah, Schneider started the game with a home run, but Vlad was right there to follow him with his 8th home run of this postseason. And you asked John Schneider before the game, did he kind of need this stage to take him to that next level? And John said, yeah, he wanted this to be able to show everybody, I'm not just a good hitter, I'm a great baseball player.
Complete baseball player. And we get to see the entire postseason because we followed the American League. Defensively, base running, baseball IQ, the bat speaks for itself. That was never going to be an issue. And then the passion for the country and the team that he's playing for now, a long time.
I think for me, the best part about what you were saying, covering the Blue Jays throughout this postseason, has been getting a real full appreciation for him. What a joy he is to watch. And an 0-1 from Snell. Fouls it off, and it's 0-2. You mentioned the love he has for Canada. He was born in Canada. So this is more than just a franchise and its star player. This is a country and a player that chose to be there. He was born there and wanted to spend his entire career in Toronto. But a lot of big time names that they've chased in free agency that have said no, but one of theirs said yes to stay. 0-2 from Snell. Bounces it back to him. Snell go to second row. Edmund to first. Double play.
The best thing Snell did right there, he didn't have the grip right away and he didn't panic. He always, as a pitcher, throw the ball over the bag and make sure you get one out. The tendency here is to hurry up. I got to turn it, got to turn it. He took his time, he threw it there, and he knew that the double play was going to be turned as long as he made a good throw.
Wipes the bases clean, brings up Bo Bichette. 0 for 2 today. Takes downstairs, ball 1. 311 hitter during the regular season, second only to Aaron Judge. He's knocked in a run in both games here at Dodger Stadium, and that should be no surprise for the guy that was the best in baseball with runners in scoring position. And even though he missed the last month, he drove in 10 more than anybody else on the team. The 1-0 from Snell. Bichette takes a good looking changeup, but he feathers in there. Bat to ball ability. John Schneider's been watching since he managed this kid when he was an 18-year-old in A-ball. And then he said competitiveness. If there's a chance to win, he's going to find a way. Hooks this ball in the air to left field. Routine for Alex Call. Halfway home in game 5. Series tied at 2. Blue Jays lead this one 3-1. Final game of the year in Los Angeles, and then it's up to Canada for game 6 on Friday. It's the bottom of the Dodger lineup, down 3-1, last of the 5th. Trey Savage to Max Muncy. The fastball that misses up.
That was a good fastball. Best fastball up seen all night. He's doing a good job not leaving stuff over the middle flat against these Dodger hitters.
And there with the slider. Dodger hitters that combined have 29 All-Star selections, 5 MVPs, make it 6 once it becomes official with Ohtani this year. Trying to get the offense going before it's too late. This is one of those guys with an all-star resume up here. But Muncy with his strikeout his first time is as guilty as anybody lately. 4 of his last 30 back to the start of the championship series. And he snap out of it, find a big swing for the Dodgers. Look out, 2-2.
That slider was on the inner half. The split should be on the outer half here, starting in the strike zone.
Left it up, grounded right side. Counter for left into a cover in the Savage for out number 1. Up comes Kike Hernandez, who's been the offense in this game for the Dodgers with a home run in the 3rd. And in this city, they love Kike Hernandez. That looked like it was inside Dodger Stadium. That's inside Cosm again.
That was so cool.
Yeah. Have you gone? Have you done a watch the game
yet.
there? It's really cool. A solo home run. What 7 of the 8 home runs in this World Series have been. And you look at the Dodger offense disappearing here the last few series. Yeah, they faced tough pitching, particularly tough, I think, Phillies and Brewers in the lead up to the World Series. But they had long stretches this year where this would happen. This is not unheard of. Just during the regular season, you know, you got the 162 game thing to make everybody honest, and you are going to be what you are at the end of that when you add it all up. This is a really poorly timed team-wide slump that they were not immune from during the regular season. The Savages 1-1, fouled into the glove, strike 2.
There's the subconscious part of baseball that you wouldn't think would take over. But when you're getting dominant starting pitching, you know you don't need 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not saying that they're not trying to get 5, 6, 7, 8. But then when you come into the park and you're like the team's struggling and you're giving up 5 or 6, you got to score. And last year they scored at a high clip in the postseason.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. Got him with a splitter and has 9 in Game 5 of the World Series. Putting on a show for Chris Pine and a bunch of celebrities here in Los Angeles. Jason Bateman has been at all 3 games. Applauding Kike's home run right there. Andy Garcia. The commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred, and Hall of Famer Joe Torre. Leo DiCaprio. Alex Call takes upstairs, ball 1. Fly out to center field the first time for Call. First start since the last game of the division series for the former National. Deadline pickup. Straight up. Kirk loses the mask near the screen. He's out of room.
Oh. You got to protect that person.
Mary Hart. Bert.
It hit him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to help out. They screened him.
We got a thumbs up, though.
All right.
Next time, though, Mary should have her glove. Split it to the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Alex Call. Trey Savage, after gutting his way through 4 innings with far from his best stuff in Game 1. 9 strikeouts in his first road postseason start. Dodger Stadium in the World Series.
Timing of his landing is so important again to his. A couple times I've seen a short stride that messes up. He spikes it. You see his feet kind of kicking the dirt when that happens.
Count goes full. Dodgers making the change in this spot in the order from Pages to Call. Desperate to get some traffic for Shohei Ohtani. Who was hit with the bases empty in 18 of his 24 plate appearances in this World Series. 3-2. Call. Chases what would have been ball 4. And Trey Savage has 10 strikeouts. Well, if you break this World Series down into a few phases, offensively, the Blue Jays have had the edge. The bullpen you figured coming in was a toss-up. Blue Jays have had the edge. Starting pitching was a mismatch, but it's starting to turn into the Blue Jays' advantage there as well. As Trey Savage has struck out 10 over 5 innings, and the Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead on Blake Snell. 4, 5, and 6 here. Kirk is 1 for 2. Snell's 1-0 pitch. Ball 2. Snell at 80 pitches. He'll take him as far as they can. Minimize exposure to that bullpen. That is one thing Snell has been able to do. Yeah, he got hit right away with those 2 home runs, but remember in game 1 he got hit right away with a 29 pitch first and couldn't get through the 6th. The 6th was when it all unraveled, and the Jays scored 9 runs. 2-2 on Kirk.
That's the one pitch we haven't seen much of tonight, that slider.
They're throwing a season-high number of curveballs, a season-high percentage of curveballs. Kicks and deals a 2-2. Speeds the fastball inside to run the count full on Kirk. Payoff. Grounder to third. Stabbed by Muncy. Across the diamond. Freeman steps over the line. Makes the play. Rewarding performance is sponsored by Capital One. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. It was the Blue Jays exploding behind that 9-run 6th inning in game 1, only to have Yoshinobu Yamamoto come back with a complete game gem in game 2. And then the thrilling game 3, Freddie Freeman ends it in 18 innings. The Blue Jays have responded all year, but never more impressive than last night. Coming off of that tough loss, they beat Ohtani. They tied this series up. All of Canada smiling. Now they lead game 5 3-1 as Dalton Varsho takes ball 1. Varsho tripled and scored his last time. Snell's 1-1. Triple in this game, homered against Snell in game 1. No left-hander had homered against Snell in a year and a half. Got to go back to Juan Soto midway through summer of 24 for Varsho's World Series homer against him.
These left-handers are hanging in on him tonight, making it tough.
Fly ball right field. Teoscar Hernandez. 2 gone in the 6th. Trey Savage, 10 strikeouts. The first rookie to do that in a World Series game since former Dodger great Don Newcomb in 1949.
Well, he's made some adjustments. He's looked really good in the field, and the mechanics much better.
Clement's out in front of the first pitch from Snell. Ground out and a sac fly for Clement. Punches this one to first. Freddie Freeman, heck of a play. 1, 2, 3, 6th inning for Blake Snell. Top of the order for the Dodgers coming up. Running out of chances in this game 5. Jays 3, Dodgers 1. Bottom of the 6th. Shohei Ohtani leads off against Trey Savage and takes in the dirt for ball 1. 10 strikeouts for Trey Savage over the first 5 innings. The only time that's ever been accomplished. Game 1 of the 1963 World Series at Yankee Stadium. And that man right there, Sandy Koufax. Sandy had struck out 11 over the first 5 innings against the Yankees. It included Mantle and Maris, and he went on to strike out 15 in a complete game performance that set the stage for a Dodger sweep. Savage to Ohtani, gets a rip and a miss, and it's 1-2. That is the only time the Dodgers clinched a World Series at home out of their 8 World Championships, that 63 team. Jays spoiling a chance to do that this year. 1-2. A shot to right field. That is a diving catch from Barger. Addison Barger. It's not just been the bat from him. He's been awesome defensively as well.
Yeah, this one's trying to dive down, and he just gets a great jump on it. Angles the glove perfectly.
Making him do that. Trey Savage can do no wrong. They're either missing or they're hitting it, and his defense making plays for him. Smith. Strike 1. You know, the strikeouts prior to tonight, and even with tonight, because Blake Snell has 6 of them, almost even in this series. So these teams are putting the ball in play at the same rate. The average on balls in play significantly better for the Blue Jays. Part of that is a credit to their defense, taking hits away from the Dodgers.
Yeah, and they're a different style of offense. Dodgers really do slug. They're looking to slug. They don't expand traditionally very often, but when you're in a slump and when you're struggling, you do things you normally don't.
A swing and a miss, and an 11 strikeout for Trey Savage.
That just bites down, and like I said, you do things like Smith. Smith doesn't swing too often at pitches like that.
He has now tied Smokey Joe Wood for the most strikeouts in a World Series game for a pitcher 22 or younger. That was in 1912. Smokey in 1912, Savage in 2025. The 0-1 to Mookie Betts. In for strike 2. This guy wasn't in the big leagues until a little more than a month ago. Started his season in A-ball. He's finishing it with history in the World Series. Here's 1-2 to Betts in the dirt. Good.
Body language and results. I think that's what John Snyder's going to be looking at really closely on how much longer he lets his young pitcher face this Dodgers lineup.
Oh, Buddy Warman in that Blue Jays bullpen. His 2-2. Bouncing ball left side. Ernie Clement's got an easy one. 1-2-3, 6th inning for Trey Savage. Absolute dominance at Dodger Stadium. In Game 5 of the World Series, he struck out 11. Beyond belief for just about anybody. I don't know, Mom and Dad, Dave and Cheryl, maybe they saw it coming. Welcome back to the 2025 World Series on Fox, presented by Capital One. Blue Jays with 2 home runs, 3 pitches into this game, and an insurance run in the 4th. They lead 3-1 as Blake Snell comes home to Addison Barger. To start the 7th inning, misses inside with his first pitch. Well, mission accomplished in his ability to bear down and get deep into this game.
Yeah, he's giving him a chance. The offense has just been stymied. Streak is over.
What, you mess up your scorecard?
First time in 5 games.
Wow, you had a 5-game streak going?
Longest one of my career in the postseason.
Extra impressive because one of those games is actually 2. Yeah, 2
Good
games
point.
in 1. So give yourself 6.
Good point. I got a suggestion for anyone who makes the score sheets moving forward. Just put the name of the team in bold so you don't have to, you fold it in half, you turn it over, but you get confused.
Do you?
Do you?
It's gonna find the seats, and it's 2-2. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Blue Jays, a run on just 2 hits for the Dodgers, and this is now 4 runs over the last 26 innings. Back to the 7th inning of Game 3 when it was 5-5, and it looked like the offense had come to life. Not much doing since. 2-2 to Barger. Punches one left side. It's going to find its way into left field. Muncy was over towards the hole, and Barger snuck it by him for a leadoff single. He has reached base all 3 times in this Game 5. If tonight's game ends in a walk-off, Capital One will donate an additional $10,000 to the Jackie Robinson Foundation as part of the Capital One walk-off program. To date, Capital One has donated more than $1 million to the foundation to support its programs and initiatives. Jays fans are saying we'll put together $10,000 together so we don't have to have Capital One do that on a walk-off. So that would mean a Dodger win in this 5th game. Leadoff man aboard. Counter from left for the ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Enriquez ready to go in the Dodger bullpen. Bunted foul.
Here's the other play you don't see too often. I mean, you don't see bunts very often. But in a bunting situation, and the pitcher knows it, the infielders know it, starting the runner and bunting at the same time. It's not technically a hit and run. It'd be bunt and run, and you're guaranteed to get the runner to second unless the ball's in the dirt.
Crashing in from first, Freeman, and IKF takes a strike. You run a further risk of a double play that way. A little pop up.
You do, but you do it only with the guy that you know is a great bunter of the ball and a pitcher that's around the strike zone. The reason he did that, see if the intel of the hitter at the plate would give away anything. I doubt he'll be bunting here with 2 strikes.
Still looking for his first hit of the World Series. Connor Falefa 0 for 14. That one gets away, and Barger will get second anyways. Blue Jays outplaying the Dodgers in this game in every way.
Again, it's a game of advanced thinking. If this happens, this is what I do. Anticipating, reading, reacting. And that was such a tough block for Smith. He didn't know where the ball was. An easy advance to second.
Now a 2-2 pitch. Connor Falefa takes in the dirt, and it's gone to 3-2 on a guy that is hitless in this World Series. Enriquez ready for the top of the order, likely. 3 hitters away, or 2 hitters away. Barger at second, nobody out. The payoff pitch. Bouncing ball left side. Betts is there. Running throw in time. Runner stays at second. MLB Together is baseball's platform embodying the sport's commitment to philanthropic causes and mental wellness efforts by teams, players, and the league. To learn more, please visit MLBtogether.com. Unhappy faces here at Dodger Stadium. 50,000 plus. Not a whole lot to cheer about, though, as Trey Savage has dominated this game. Andres Jimenez with one out, swings and misses. Here's another chance for Jimenez to do what he's done best in this postseason. That is deliver with runners in scoring position. 7 for 14. Third on the team in RBIs out of the 9 spot. Snell's attacked him with fastballs tonight, struck him out both times. Here, this is his last hitter. Schneider on deck. Whoa. Ball 2.
You're wondering what Blake Snell does every once in a while, reaching in the back pocket. It gives him information on counts, tendencies, all that gathered from 162 games based on the batter.
Got him to chase right there. 2-2. How reliable is that in the postseason? Because guys change.
Yeah, and that might be a card for just postseason too. It's not necessarily, but I think it's a good reliance to know the tendencies of hitters. They don't vary too often.
It's a play sheet for the offensive coordinator. The 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball first, but foul.
Slow, and then fastball up is where he's been getting them. So if you're thinking along the lines, it's late in the game. This is probably the last hitter. Do you have one more good fastball on a 2-2 count up in the zone that looks enticing for Jimenez to go after it?
Nathan Lucas has a bat ready to counter if there's a new pitcher. 2-2. There's a fastball. Throw back to second. Hits the runner. I know Betts did catch it.
I don't like that by Will Smith right there, because now all you're doing is you're possibly taking a strike away on a 2-2 pitch with the chance of picking off a guy at second. I don't know if it's worth the risk.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes on the 9-hitter. Popped out of his hand, and his 4th walk of the game will set it up for the top of the order and likely end his night. No, Mark Pryor instead.
Yeah,
that's to buy a little time.
I don't know if they would rather face Lucas here.
Yeah, so I guess the question is Snell against Schneider or Enriquez against Lucas.
Right, and I think that's going to be just a pulse check right now and see where he's at and understand that Lucas will come into the game if they take him out.
Let's get a quick word from Google Cloud.
Does a little hop bring a little luck? Catch the game like never before with AI from Google Cloud.
Boy, you sure would love a double play here with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. waiting on deck.
Yeah, that likely will happen on a changeup away if he gets into a situation to utilize. The aggressiveness of Snyder was no more evident than the first pitch of the game. Solo home run.
Strikeout and a walk since then. 2 on with 1 out in the 7th. Jays by 2. Started him with a change. Strike 1. David Schneider, the former 28th round pick, sees another changeup float in there. 0-2.
That one caught him by surprise, I think, and Now you're trying to go for that kill shot. Got a couple pitches to maybe either swing over the top of a breaking ball that starts up or go 3 in a row changeups and just make this one way off the plate.
You know, the hitter's got to be thinking, he can't throw 3 in a row, can he? See what he chooses. On an 0-2. He did, not through a slider, but it missed.
The thought here is you're going to see him swing over the top of a slider. He could get on his tippy toes trying to get that call.
Now the 1-2 is in the dirt. Smith can't get it, and up to third goes Barger.
And Barger has been on it. Anticipating the ball in the dirt. When he sees it, he's gone. You can see that ball just kicks way away from Smith.
So he singles to open the inning. Takes second on a wild pitch. Takes third on a wild pitch. Two balls and 2 strikes on Schneider. Snell comes home from 0-2 to 3-2. With Vlad Jr. looming on deck. Now, who would have thought you lose George Springer, you come back to win game 4, and then in game 5 it's the guy that slides up into the leadoff spot at his place that starts it with a home run and now tries to squeeze the last drop out of Blake Snell. Most pitches he's thrown in 3 years. The 116th. A 3-2 to Davis Schneider. Got him with a change. And that will be the end of the line for Blake Snell. Dave Roberts will go down to his young flame-throwing righty Henriquez as Snell finishes off his night with his 7th K. The Blue Jays with a 2-run lead. And runners at first and third looking for insurance and looking for a 3-2 World Series lead. Night finish. Book still open though for Blake Snell. Frustrated with this outing. 3 runs, 2 of them coming on the first 3 pitches of the game on home runs. This is the guy that hit one of them, Vlad Jr. Edgardo Enriquez on to face him. Upstairs to the first pitch. Gained trust in what he did in the 18-inning game when he had 2 scoreless innings.
Throws hard, but that doesn't matter to Guerrero. You better locate it.
Another home run, a walk, and a double play ground out. First and third, 2 away. 2-run lead for Toronto. Enriquez comes home. A swing and a miss on a high fence ball. Enriquez only 23. Had not pitched since the wild card round prior to game 3. Dodgers desperate for guys to step forward in that bullpen in big spots.
If you want to know why he's such a good hitter and why there's so many strikeouts in baseball, hitters have a bat angle that is in the upper 20s launch, right? They want to launch, they want to lift the ball in the air. His is flatter in the strike zone. It's part of the reason why he hits so many ground balls, and he hits them hard. And by having a flatter swing and as strong as he is, if you throw the wrong pitch, that will create his power. But he's not up there trying to launch and hit homers. He's up there to hit the ball hard and hit at gaps and then take advantage of where you're pitching him.
And home runs come out of that.
They sure do.
He's got 8 of them to just 5 strikeouts in the playoffs. He's got Barger at third, Jimenez at first. The 3-1. Guerrero fouls it off, and it's 3-2. Dodgers could not get out of the inherited runner situation for their starter Ohtani last night. It was the difference in the ball game, what the relievers did coming in.
Seeing Savage standing, man, I can't believe he stands a lot. It just would wear. He must not like to sit. Nervous energy, whatever it is. But I think his manager is going to go batter to batter now with him if there's no more runs scored in this game or this inning. Payoff pitch to Vlad Jr. Overthrows it to the backstop, and here comes Barger. 4-1 Toronto. A single and 3 wild pitches to allow Barger to go first to home.
Way to fucking go, baby. Way to go.
That was not your typical Dodgers inning. But the fear of making a great pitch to a great hitter, and the feeling that a manager has when he watches a runner go first, second, third, home without a hit.
And so first and second for Bichette. The Dodgers over the first 142 innings pitched in this postseason had 3 wild pitches. They have 3 in this inning alone.
It's crazy.
Go 1 to Bichette. Trying to make it really hurt. They ruled that, by the way, a pass ball, but same idea.
That?
Yeah.
Was a pass ball?
Either way, it's a run. And the Blue Jays have the insurance with a pitcher on the mound who looks unhittable.
I want to see the replay of that.
We're going to get that for you. Ball 2. Will Smith says, calm down.
Oh, there's no way.
101 in the other batter's box.
There is no way. When you're set up for a pitch where he was set up to get 101, you keep it as wild. You keep it as a wild pitch.
I'm good. I'm sticking to my guns because I wrote it in pen.
I mean, there's just no way. You're not supposed to catch a ball in the left-handed batter's box.
Triple digits, no less. 3 balls and a strike on Bichette. Jimenez at second, Guerrero at first. Here it comes. Shot to right field, a base hit. Here comes Jimenez. Hernandez's throw heads for third. It is not in time, and it's 5-1. And the Blue Jays have another multi-run inning. And for the second night in a row, a Dodger reliever comes in, and the 2 inherited runners both come in.
RBI king for the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll find out what the future holds for him, but right now he is living a dream, playing in the World Series after not competing in the first couple of series due to that knee injury, and coming through.
He's knocked in a run in all 3 games here in Los Angeles. He's given the Blue Jays a 5-1 lead as they try to go back-to-back wins after the crushing defeat. Maybe we should stop calling it crushing because they've made it look like it was nothing. Game 6, one way or another, is going to be this matchup. This is why this game is so important for the Blue Jays. They're looking at facing Yamamoto, fresh off his complete game that I know you've said is as impressive a performance as you've ever watched in the playoffs. And you've seen some good ones.
Yeah, no, he was in the strike zone. He was nasty. He just absolutely took the bats out of their hands and dominated that game.
And of course, Gausman on the other side for the Blue Jays. He's been the ace all year and 4 years.
And he was equally as dominant. He made 1 mistake with 2 outs to Will Smith in a tie game. So he's been awesome for Toronto as well.
Yamamoto for the Dodgers, but Gausman plus that Rogers Center crowd for the Blue Jays. Even playing field as this heads to game 6. 2-0 on Kirk.
The one thing about this inning, and it may knock out Savage because of the delay, right? Plus they got a couple runs, but that delay in this late in the game really impacts a pitcher when you're running out of gas a little bit, and he doesn't have exactly experience of 200+ innings. We'll see what they choose to do when this inning comes to the bottom half.
Anthony Bond is ready for the Dodgers as this has gone to 3-0 on Kirk. Enriquez looking for his first out. Not going to find it here. And not going to get a chance to find it again. Left-handed batting Dalton Varsho's coming to the plate. Anthony Bonda's coming in. The Jays have scored twice more here in the 7th. They lead it 5-1. World Baseball Classic is around the corner. It's only played once every 3 years. It'll be next March on Fox. Aaron Judge suits up for Team USA for the first time. The big jumper will catch. Bobby Witt Jr. part of that as well. Dalton Varsho to the plate here in Game 5 of the World Series. A 5-1 lead for the Toronto Blue Jays as Edgardo Enriquez is the latest to come in and let inherited runners come in to score. This is a bases loaded situation that Anthony Bonda inherits. Out of the 3 times we've seen this situation in the World Series, 8 of the 9 runs have come in. Inherited, bases loaded for a reliever. A strike 1 on Varsho. Bonda was one of the guys that struggled out of the pen last night. Couldn't hang on to things for Shohei Ohtani. There's the concern coming into the postseason for the Dodgers. Covered up by how good the starting pitching was the first few rounds. But then busted open as the Blue Jays have been a tougher test on the starters. Ground ball to second. Tommy Edman will shuffle it off to second to end the inning. But the Jays get 2. Second night in a row. They put up a crooked number in the 7th. 2 wild pitches. No, we're sticking with 3. 3 wild pitches allow Barger to go all the way around. Blake Snell's finished. The Dodgers down 5-1 to the last of the 7th. Trey is savage with 11 strikeouts in this game, matching his career high that he set against the New York Yankees in the division series. How about that? 11 Ks against the Yankees in the division series, 11 Ks against the Dodgers, the defending champion in the World Series. Freddie Freeman leads off and is quickly down 0-2.
It's impressive. It's a long layoff. I'm sure they're going batter to batter, you would think, and ride this hot arm as long as they can. But to come out there and do this after that wait, I'm impressed.
Most pitches that he's thrown in the postseason, 87 through 94 in his last start of the regular season. He's got a new left fielder, Miles Straw, in for Davis Schneider, tightening up that defense that's already good. 1-2 to Freeman. There's a dozen for Trey Savage.
Well, what this shows me is John Snyder is looking at the results more than he's looking at anything else. I told you before, you got to throw away stats and tendencies when you're in a 1-game. Obviously, you got to win 2, but you're in a 1-game situation where your pitcher is having a moment. Don't go to the stats when he's having a moment. Let your eyes determine when you think the hitters are telling you different.
And John Schneider says that he's learned his lesson in that regard. He said his first couple postseasons, he lost about a month worth of sleep, sitting there laying awake about not trusting his eyes, not trusting his gut, going with the numbers, going with a script. Said I was just gripping that wheel too tight to the formula, and committed himself to trusting people and trusting his eyes this time around. Oscar Hernandez slaps it foul, and it's 1-2. Down to Tom Verducci.
Joe, it really is amazing when you think he began this year pitching against the Jupiter Hammerheads in front of 327 people. Here we are at World Series Game 5. He's seeing the Dodgers, the highest scoring team in the National League, for the 2nd time in 5 days.
This is going to be an infield hit for Teoscar Hernandez.
And Joe, he has obtained 23 swings and misses tonight. That is the most in a World Series game since those things have been tracked since 2008. We are looking at a true World Series prodigy.
Recapturing what he had against the Yankees in the division series. Doing to the Yankees what a young Josh Beckett did at the age of 23 in the World Series in 2003, clinching that at Yankee Stadium.
Hey, speaking of Josh Beckett, saw him today at the golf course.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, was he dominant in that World Series?
Yeah.
My goodness.
As a youngster. No balls and a strike on Tommy Edman. 0 for 2. Fouls it into the glove. Strike 2. Continues to get ahead even at 99 pitches.
He's just in rhythm, and there's been no stress. And that's the beautiful thing about when you're in rhythm and you don't have to deal with a lot of stress. Stress causes you to be more firm with your pitches, to be more perfect with your pitches, and therefore more tension.
Only one at bat tonight with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, that's why he's out there. And even that hit right there, obviously a little infield hit. It'd be different if he got it laced to left field and guys start timing him up.
One of only 3 hits in this game for LA. Edman takes it in the dirt and the count evens 2-2. Grew up on the family farm outside of Philadelphia, Boyerstown, Pennsylvania. Didn't really get into baseball until he was in high school. More interested in playing outdoors. Pretty good career choice he picked. 2-2. Popped out of his hand and the count goes full. Dominguez and Fluharty both ready for John Schneider. It would likely be Fluharty for Muncy. Payoff. Fouled off, and he barely stays alive. Chopper to third, Clement to second, over to first, double play! A World Series masterpiece from 22-year-old Trey Yesavage. Well, about a month and a half ago, nobody outside of the most diehard Blue Jays fans or prospect fans would have known the name Trey Yesavage. Everybody going to know him now. 12 strikeouts in Game 5 of the World Series, and he holds the defending champions to just a run over 7 innings.
He's never going to forget that game, and neither are the fans of the Toronto Blue Jays. And his manager, to your point, showed what he had learned and what he was willing to stick out. Yeah, 5-1 lead, but how many times have we seen a lead turn around just because you're supposed to take somebody out and the next guy's coming in and he ain't ready or he's not good? That right there says it all.
The past, future, and the future that's just arrived. Vlad Jr. was the hope, and then Yesavage. Is he the guy that pushes him over the top? Talk all about the offense, but starting pitching going the way of the Blue Jays, that could be the last thing that tips this series in their advantage. Bonded to Ernie Clement with an 0-2 and a line drive base hit to center field.
I want you to see what the Toronto Blue Jays had done against left-handed pitching. And they didn't see any against Seattle as the starters, but they took on the New York Yankees, and now they've seen Blake Snell twice. It's pretty impressive.
If the score holds, they'll go to 7-1 in the 8 games against left-handed starters in these playoffs.
19 runs.
Barger takes a strike. You're talking about Snell twice. You're talking about Max Fried, Carlos Rodon. Barger's been on all 3 times in this game. Couple singles and a walk. Got 0-2 here.
Time's out.
#1 in the majors in batting average on the year, #1 in on base. The defense exceptional. You knew those things coming into the playoffs. The pitching, though, they had the worst ERA of the playoff teams, of the entire field. You see that, it's hard to get too confident about your chances. But the pitching has exceeded what they did during the regular season.
Well, Scherzer got healthier, and you've seen a better version of him.
Boy, this is ugly.
Bassett got healthier. He's been unscored upon in this World Series. And so all of a sudden you start thinking, and you got Shane Bieber doing what he did. This is it's still an uphill task for both teams, because both teams, if they get tremendous starting pitching, can shut down the other team. And we're talking about Yamamoto in Game 6 and Gausman.
Chopper to second. That'll advance Clement to third. Bard to the first out. Trey Savage. 11 strikeouts against the Yankees. Game 2 of the division series. Does it again here. First rookie with 2 10 strikeout games in a single postseason ever.
And the adjustments he made in his bullpen and everything he looked at, yeah, I'd smile too. That was unbelievable. And what he was able to do, the feel for pitching was way better, and that splitter was incredible.
Kind of for left for past the drawn in infield to make it 6-1. Single, wild pitch, productive out, and then kind of for left his first hit of the World Series. It was Game 5 last year where the Dodgers hoisted the trophy, took advantage of the Yankees' defensive lapses. It's Game 5 of the World Series this year where their own mistakes helped the Blue Jays pile on. There goes California for first pitch, and it's fouled off.
We would love to have that swing back and take. It was an easy stolen base.
Now these 5 runs the Jays now lead by. The way the Dodger offense is going feels like 50.
It does, and somebody's going to have to crack the code in that lineup and get hot at the absolute right time now.
Shallow left field. Here comes Alex Call. Jimenez out number 2. Miles Straw heads up there for his first at bat, having come on defensively last inning. You can wear the gear that makes champions. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, and more. From the dugout to your doorstep. Grab official World Series gear just like the players wear at MLBshop.com. Straw, a defensive ace, into the game for that purpose. Looking for his first hit of the World Series, like Connor Falefa just got. Former Astro, former Guardian, and now to the Blue Jays. Miles Straw out of St. John's River Community College. Junior college walk-on once upon a time. Anthony Dominguez. Dodgers have the bottom of the order due up. No. 2-0. Well, really, in each game in this series, what the bullpens do will lead you to the answer who wins the games. Game 1, Toronto's pen gave up just 2. The Dodger pen gave up 6. Blue Jays won that one. Dodgers were able to stay away from the bullpen altogether in Game 2 with a complete game, and then had the performance of the year for their pen in Game 3 with the 11 straight scoreless innings. Last night, Jays pen had the edge. Flew hard. He got out of a jam that Bonda and Treinen couldn't. And tonight, the Dodger pen letting the inherited runners score. Another one right here. Kind of Falefa has stolen second.
Well, to your point, I mean, the Blue Jays lead by 5, right? And the Dodgers have scored 4 total runs in their last 27 innings. That tells you all you need to know about an offense that has been pretty dormant and inconsistent. It'll have time to wake up, because all they'll have to do if they don't come back here is win 1 game. And then win 1 more game. But you'll hear that a lot from players and managers. All we got to do is win 1 game. And not worry about the other one until you do.
Found themselves in the same position the Blue Jays found themselves in the championship series, although they'll be on the road. Well, the Jays took the 3-2 deficit home to Toronto and beat Seattle to get to the World Series for the first time in more than 3 decades. 3-2 on Miles Straw. Here comes Bonda. Right side of the infield, Freddie Freeman. Inning over, but the Jays get another right from the start tonight. They've been smiling. Davis Schneider led off the game with a home run. They've tacked on 5 more and lead game 5 by that many. Blue Jays bullpen takes over. Bottom of the 8th inning. Sir Anthony Dominguez on for the bottom of the Dodger lineup with Max Muncy to lead off. Dodgers have 3 hits in this game. A home run from Kike Hernandez and 2 infield singles from Teoscar Hernandez. Star-studded cast fallen silent. We came into this World Series talking about the Dodgers figuring it out down the stretch, that for a lot of this year it wasn't pretty. And this is opening up some memories of that. From early July through early September, a full 2-month stretch, their offense was 27th in the majors. Ground ball right side. Vlad Jr.'s got it. Flip over to Dominguez for the first out. Start Saturday strong with the undefeated top-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes facing off against Penn State at the Horseshoe, all starting at 10 a.m. Eastern with Big Noon kickoff. It's live from Columbus, and then it's Penn State, Ohio State. Big Noon Saturday on Fox. And part of Big Noon, Matt Leinart, diehard Dodger fan. And that guy next to him. One away for Kike Hernandez. Gave the Dodgers their only run in this game. His home run back in the 3rd.
Well, I know it's the last thing on his mind, but it looks like Clayton Kershaw's last appearance at Dodger Stadium will be the one that he came in with the bases loaded. Being that this is it for him doesn't mean he won't pitch or could not pitch in Toronto, but it appears that he will end his career, unbelievable career, and his last outing will be in relief with the bases loaded.
You got that guy right there, Nathan Lucas, who will be able to tell his own grandkids that, hey, you know, the last guy Clayton Kershaw faced was your grandpa. 2 gone in the 8th. Hall of Fame career by every measure. Yeah, a chance that this is how it finishes. Symmetry with Sandy Koufax throughout his career. Right from the beginning, this highly touted young left-hander that arrives in Dodger blue. And he'll cap it with symmetry with Koufax as well, who ended his own career in the World Series. That's so beautiful that Sandy is here to see it all.
It's amazing. I mean, he embodies what this organization is. Well, it's like when he talks, everything stops. People just they lean in. They want to hear what he's got to say. Very low key, not in the public. Dominant.
Dominant and regal. 89 years young. I'd love to be as sharp as he is, as good a health as he is at 49.
Well, I know we talked about this in a regular season game, but we got to talking. He was over in New York and just got to talking about golf and if he played much, during the year. And he said, I tried to play a little bit, but when you pitch on sometimes 2 days rest and 3 days rest, He didn't have a whole lot of time for golf. He was making 40 starts and doing the thing he had to do. So put it in perspective.
Crowd didn't like this call. Frustrations boiling over from the lack of offense they've seen since Freddie Freeman's walk-off home run. That's as much "what are we doing, Dodgers" as it is anger with that call. 3-2 from Dominguez inside, and a walk from Cobb. They finally get Ohtani to the plate with a man aboard. Hey, we want to say hello to Terry Harrison. We are always thinking about you, Terry. Superstar member of our crew, our graphics team. Not with us this October, but we can't wait till you are again. In a 6-1 game, Ohtani to the plate. It's the first time tonight that he's hit with a man on. And it's only the 7th time that he's hit with a man on is 26 times up.
Last time there was a mound meeting.
Yeah.
And the very next pitch, there was a home run. So I'm wondering what this mound meeting and reminding him of probably throwing a first pitch split and making sure that he gets the ball away. So we'll see how he responds, but that turned into an 18-inning beauty.
If you're trying to figure out what the mound visit was last time based on what he did, then the message would have been put the ball as middle as you can and see how far you can hit it. Because it was right on a tee the very first pitch. Another scorcher off the bat of Ohtani, but it was on a splitter, and it's down to first for Vlad Jr., and it sends Game 5 to the 9th. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. starts the top of the 9th for the Blue Jays. They lead this one 6-1. Blake Treinen misses away with his first pitch. Treinen's 3rd appearance in this World Series. Jays hitters are 5 for 7 against him. For Guerrero, a home run and 2 walks today, continuing his marvelous postseason. Coming up when the game finishes, stay tuned for the post-game show on Fox and over on FS1 with KB, Alex, Poppy, and Derek. It's presented by Strauss. And then the scene shifts back to Toronto. What a scene it will be. After game 1, walking out of there, is that Sunday night? I mean, it was like they were ready to start the championship parade right then. It was such a party. And they were just hoping that they would have a chance to see their team again when they left for the series 1-1. They're going to get it.
They might have 20,000 there on their off day.
26,000 there for the watch party. Trying it on a comebacker to get Guerrero. Ready to call the drop in the bat. Heads back there. First out of the 9th. Your team, your players, baseball your way. Follow all the World Series action on the app, the #1 app for live baseball. Extra day of rest for George Springer. Do they get him back in the lineup? Have not needed him. The 2 games without him. They're 2-0. Certainly will take him if they can get him, though. Bichette. The tricky thing is that it puts Bichette back in the field. It diminishes your defense. It also diminishes, you would figure, Bo at the plate.
It looked like he was going to possibly pinch run if Bichette gets on. There's something, you know. He's got a helmet on. It looks like he would pinch run.
Seems crazy. Wow.
Well, for one,
I know Bo's knee, but
yeah,
got other guys. And it's not like it matters defensively. It's the DH spot, so you could pick anybody to go run for him. Get off me, ball. Check in with Kenny.
Talking to John Schneider before the game, his sense was that George Springer, if he entered this game tonight one way or the other, it wasn't going to get worse, the injury. and it wasn't going to get necessarily better holding him out. So maybe this is simply a case of the Jays wanting to see where he is, Springer wanting to see where he is. Remember, he ran around today before the game. He hit off the velocity machine. They said he was going to hit in the cage tonight. So this could simply be a matter of him feeling good enough to give it a try.
Yeah, and we asked him, can he, you know, because at that point the lineup wasn't out. We said, hey, if we see the lineup come out, he's not in it, is it safe to assume he decided let's just get him one more day and the off day so he's ready for game 6? And Schneider said, I considered that, but came around to say, no, this is the World Series. If George says he's ready and can be in there, he's going to be in there. Bounce it a second, Edmund to get the shot. Yeah, George will head back down into the dugout. Stay tuned.
Number 30, Alejandro.
You can imagine the roar that he'll hear from that Toronto crowd. He's leading off game 6. 6-1 in game 5. Here's Kirk.
Oh, wow.
On the ground at first, Freddie Freeman will take it himself. Blake Trinan with his first scoreless relief inning of this World Series. 6-1, last chance for the Dodgers. 2, 3, and 4 headed up. Toronto 6, Los Angeles 1 to the last of the 9th inning here at Dodger Stadium. Jays on the verge of a 3-2 series lead. And man, if you had seen this coming back this spring, you'd be sitting pretty right now. Dodgers were the favorites. By midsummer, people thought Blue Jays, okay, maybe there's something there. By the start of September, odds getting better. Today, this is coming into the day right there. It's really hard to do what the Dodgers are trying to do. No team in the National League has won it all back-to-back seasons since the Big Red Machine in the 1970s. No team at all has done it since the Yankees, 98 through 2000. Jeff Hoffman. John Schneider not taking any chances here with a 5-run lead. His closer's in. 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Ball 1 on Will Smith. Smith 0 for 3. Nobody immune to the offensive struggles. Even the steady catcher. 1 for his last 13.
Day off tomorrow, obviously, so Hoffman comes in, 5-run lead.
Well, 2 balls, 1 strike.
And again, same thing. Obviously, a closer knows, being in the toughest of situations, just don't get anybody on base with a walk. Two and two on Smith.
Dodger offense stars at the top, even with the lineup change. Different night, same story. Top 4 guys 0 for 12, 7 Ks. They ran into Trey Savage tonight. The 12th strikeout game in World Series history. The first one since Orlando El Duque Hernandez did it for the Yankees against the Mets in 2000. He lost that game. Smith starts the 9th with a base hit to left. The last guy to win a 12 strikeout game in the World Series, Bob Gibson in 1968. Trey Savage, pinch yourself. Betts 0 for 3 and 3 for 22 in the World Series. So we'll let you know about Smith's recent struggles. Betts, that's been a big story, but then you look down Tommy Edman, 3 for 21 in the World Series. Max Muncy, 4 for his last 32. Ohtani 0 for his last 7.
No, it's outside.
Outside. Say, who's going to step up? Well, they're going to hope that Yamamoto does in Game 6, but they're going to need a couple guys to get out of poorly timed slumps offensively. One to Betts. Check foul. And as good as Yamamoto is, it's not like Kevin Gausman is a pushover. 255 in this postseason. Retired 17 in a row before he ran into trouble late in Game 2. 6 2/3, 3 runs allowed in defeat. The 1-2 to Betts.
Yeah, it's safe to say that if that stat we just showed, 1 through 4, doesn't change dramatically, Dodgers will not repeat.
Seven o'clock Eastern. Coverage begins Friday night. First pitch at 8. After the leadoff hit from Smith, here's a 2-2 to Betts. Fly ball left center field, but not deep. Miles Straw to put Betts to 0 for 4. Jeff Hoffman, who came into this postseason as a concern for the Blue Jays, has figured it out. He's given up just 1 run in 10 innings in these playoffs. The bullpen for the Blue Jays, collectively a concern, but in this World Series, their ERA is below 3. Here's Freeman. Came into this World Series talking about the opposite paths these teams took through the championship series. Dodgers sweeping, Jays having to play 7 games. The 5th all-time matchup between teams like that. And again, the team that did the sweeping has never won the World Series that followed.
Yeah, that still blows me away. I mean, we've seen and heard a lot of different stats, and this is what they're talking about. Not only did they not win, collectively, they only won 2 games.
So now 4-19 all time.
Man.
Hoffman's 2-1 to Freeman. 2-2. Got to be something to it.
Well, I've always said that now the Dodgers are a little bit more used to the layoff with the new playoff system. It's the layoff. You know, you take care of business, and you got, in some cases, 9 days off.
2 gone in the 9th inning of Game 5.
Your hitters get out of sync. It doesn't really affect the pitching. I would love to know. We won't have time for it now. Maybe we'll show you in Toronto. I'd love to know what those team batting averages were in the World Series on the teams that did not win after sweeping. 2 days, and we will have that. Tune in Game 6 in Toronto. Is that a tease?
If I've ever heard one. Here's Teoscar Hernandez. Got 2 infield singles in this game. 2 of the 4 hits for LA. Bring your decibel meter. It will be rocking in that place. As it was in here for game 3. The Blue Jays getting the early leads, especially tonight. First pitch of the game. Yeah, getting an early home run to overcome a deficit last night. Minimizing the crowd's impact in these couple days. Wall just missed. Hoffman with a 1-2 pitch. No. And the Blue Jays are headed home, 1 win from a championship. And it was a child who led them tonight. 22-year-old Trey Savage. 12 strikeouts. Only the 12th time in World Series history somebody's done that. And he's right there with Bob Gibson. 12+ strikeouts and a win in a World Series game. The Jays are 1 win away from their first title in 32 years.
Pretty amazing. I know this crowd's kind of stunned here, and those who have tuned in to watch the Toronto Blue Jays, you've learned a lot about their team, their moxie, and the way they play baseball.
What a response. After they lose game 3, they lose their leadoff hitter. They handled the Dodgers back-to-back nights after that.
Yeah, I thought the loss that the team couldn't afford after 18 was going to be the Toronto Blue Jays. I thought the Dodgers could sustain it better based on their pitching. Well, we've come to find out that's the opposite of what actually happened.
And so it's back to Canada for game 6 on Friday night, and the Dodgers put their hopes in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Coming off a complete game in game 2. They're one of the best pitchers in baseball all season. And he'll try to force a game 7 where it will be all pitchers involved, all hands on deck. Down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Trey, 12 strikeouts. That's the most ever by a rookie in a World Series game. How did you do it? What made you so successful tonight?
Just my belief, believing in myself, believing in my defense, believing in Kirky behind the plate, and believing in God that he'd look over me today.
Game 1 was good, but more of a struggle. What did you work on between starts? What did you tell yourself going into tonight's game?
Just need to get in the strike zone. When 3 of my pitches are in the strike zone, even 2 like part of tonight, I mean, I'm in control. So just getting in the strike zone, getting ahead.
You started the season in the Florida State League in A-ball. You have brought the Blue Jays to within 1 game of their first World Series title since 1993. Your parents have followed you every step of the way. What will you tell them when you see them tonight?
I'm just going to tell them that I love them, and safe travels back to Pennsylvania, and I'll see them on Friday.
Trey, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
And John Schneider said one of the first things he appreciated about Trey was seeing how close he was with his family and his Major League debut that was in Tampa Bay in a minor league stadium. The parents sat right behind the dugout. It was quaint. It was anything but tonight in front of 55,000 in Los Angeles. And with the eyes of a nation on him, he delivers an all-time World Series performance. They're headed back to Toronto, 1 win away.